Had a change of scenery, fancied another bash at Ecton. Oh, was that a fish? And yeah, so last time I was here, Luke, the owner, kind of set me a little challenge, if you like, and that was to catch one from each of the lakes and one from the river in the season. Apparently it's not been done before. So I like a challenge, and with 2 lakes already ticked off the list, I fancy getting back up here to try and catch another one. So I had a good walk around today, done a lap of the main lake, baited up a couple of spots on there, and then baited up a couple of spots on the river as well. And then I've come up to Glee. Now last time I was on Glee, it was dead. There was nothing showing, there was no fizzers. And today when I walked up here, it looked similar, to be honest, when I first approached the first end, because it's kind of like a game of 2 halves, if you like. There's 2 wider bits at either end and then a thin channel in the middle. Anyway, that end was quiet, and I come up to this end, straight away saw a fish roll. Then there was a bit of bubbling where that was, had a little wander around to the far end, saw another one roll, another bit of fizzing, and it just looked like it was game on. Totally different lake to the last time I was here. So I've put 2 rods out for now, one just on a single, and I put it out on like a helicopter, pulled the bead up and all of that, just, you know, because I wanted to just make 1 cast. I thought even if it falls in a bit of weed, that'll be all right. Well, it went down with an absolute crash. I thought my rod was going to break. So yeah, that should be fishing absolutely perfectly. Left hand one, I put a solid bag on just off of some weed, and that went down all right. So hopefully they're fishing fine, and I've made as little disturbance as I can get away with. Like I say, I'm only after 1 quick bite really, although there's some crackers in here and I would like to have another go at another point. For now, the ideal scenario would be 1 out of here tonight, 1 out of the river tomorrow, and then onto the main lake, which I think is going to be the trickiest one in my opinion, but you never know. They could all be tricky. I don't think there's many left in that river now from what I can gather. However, when I was baiting up today, there was a guy on a boat and he was like, "You had any joy, mate?" I said, "No, I'm just baiting up." He said, "Oh, there was a carp swimming around here earlier." I was like, "Really?" Sweet. Only mid-double, but perfectly good enough for me. So yeah, at least there's 1 in that stretch, not far away from where I've baited. So fingers crossed he's going to be having a munch tonight. But in the meantime, let's try and catch one out of here. Well, rods had been out a couple of hours. I'd seen a couple more fish show, one of them a proper big one as well. It's done a 46 pounder since I was last here. I think it's 46. And I think there's another 40 in here as well. Anyway, a couple more bubblers. I put a 3rd rod out. And then I was just sitting here thinking, this looks so cock on. It's going to happen. And the right hand rod's gone, but bobbin's lifted up and then dropped back down again. And it's like, ooh. Was that a liner or have I just been done? And that was on the old crack down rod, which, as I said, it's got a helicopter on there, and I put a 2 ounce lead on there just because I didn't want to make too much disturbance, casting onto a bubbler. And yeah, anyway, so I'm sitting there thinking maybe I should change that. 5 minutes later, it's gone. Picked up the rod, rod's hooked round, like a good old pull, and it felt like it was getting into some weed, and then bang, the hook pulled out. I was absolutely sick. I still am. Last week I was out on the river with Ollie and using the same setup, and I lost 3 there as well. And I said this at that time, I said, you know, why am I doing this? I should just be using leg clips, and should have learnt my lesson, and maybe I would have not lost that one, but maybe it's just bad luck, you know. But I just think obviously with the bead up the lead core, 2 ounce lead, the hooking potential is just nowhere near as good as it is with you know, like a leg clip or an inline. So not good at all. It could have been done a couple of hours. I would have stayed on here for the night anyway, because it's obviously someone's flicked the on switch up here. So yeah, I think we should have another chance, hopefully anyway. Hopefully that doesn't spook them all at the other end, but not good at all. Let's hope we can make up for it. Tip top of the morning to you. Well, it's actually the second morning of the trip at Glee. Yesterday morning, I don't know how I didn't get a bite. At one point, I put my camera on because I was that sure I was going to get a bite. You know, there's big old sheets of fizzing coming up over the spot, and I had a bit of a liner, and then bang, nothing. Completely died for the rest of the day. Yesterday, I had a good look about, didn't see anything. I was thinking maybe I pushed him up the other end, but I look up there and it looked just as dead and just as quiet up there. You know, these small lakes that don't see a lot of pressure, they can be really kind of tricky once they do realise you're about. And that first day, obviously, I turned up and they were happy as Larry, but obviously upset them a little bit. So anyway, that first night was kind of opportunistic fishing, if you like. Just casting out towards bubblers, and I fished singles or solid bags. Well, yesterday I was like, right, come on, pull your finger out, let's fish properly for the night. So I found myself 3 different spots, 2 out in the open water where they've been bubbling, 1 down the left-hand margin, which I've got on a washing line. It's about 60 yards down there, so there's quite a lot of tension in the line. You know, I've put some like a little bit of grass behind the loop so it locks it in place. So yeah, this morning woke up about 40 minutes ago, just before it was getting light, to a bite, and had a nice short little scrap with it, and we've got a nice scaly little carp to show you. So yeah, well chuffed with that. Mega to tick this one off the list already. I was going to pack up there and then and get down the river for first light, the old crack of dawn's crack. But I thought, you know what, you've still got, you know, 2 other rods that are fishing really well. I put that rod back out there as well, so that's 3 rods that are fishing well. We've got prime time coming up. There's some good fish in here, so I thought, well, I'll give it another 2 or 3 hours. You never know, we might have a chance of a better one. But failing that, I'm going to have a little mooch around the main lake again, bait up some more spots, and then drop on the river for tonight. And then hopefully we can catch one out of there. But I think that's going to be a tall order. The river and the main lake are going to be the hardest ones, I believe. The main lake's going to be tricky just because it's quite a big chunk of water and there's lots of it you can't see from lots of the swims. So yeah, I think that one could be a bit of a headbanger, but we'll give it a go. Well, like I said, not a big one, but seriously mega little creature. Looks like he's smashed himself up a bit whilst he's been getting jiggy with it. Look at that. Mega little creature. Lovely scales on it. Nice shape. I think he's a male because, yeah, he's still got a few of the old spawning tubercles on him. Over the moon. Obviously, it's not one of the lake's big ones, but by all accounts, some of these small ones go on the missing list for a long time as well. In fact, there's a lot of fish that they've put in here that still haven't come out yet. So I'll be getting a couple of snaps of this and sending it to Luke to see if he recognises it. Awesome, that come on a little solid bag, 8mm pop-up and about half a dozen maggots on top of that. Spotted half a dozen spoms over the top with just a mix of hemp, a few maggots, a few tigers and a bit of sweet corn. Happy days. Right, let's get you back, little one, and we're off to the river. A wonderful river. What is it? It's the Nene, or the Nene, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, let's get down there, see if we can catch one out of there. Oi, oi. Well, watching a bit of fizzing going on the left hand rod, and it's like surely one of them's just got to go. I was down to just 2 rods left out, kept putting it off and putting it off, and finally it's gone. And I'll be honest with you, at one point in the scrap I thought I've got a good in here, this is one of the big ones, but it's not. It's a very small common. It's made me very happy. So let's have a little look at him, and we'll get him back, let him crack on with his day, and we'll crack on with ours. I don't know who this we is when I'm on my own. Right, come on in, mate. Let's be having ya. Still can't get over how much this scrapped. It's a little bit bigger than I first thought when he went in the net. Probably about 14 pound, I reckon. Mint condition, apart from that tail there. Looks like he's lost a bit of the top of it somehow. Hopefully it wasn't an otter. I mean, this place has got an otter fence around it, so they should be safe in here. Top result. So, as I mentioned before, we're going to go and have a little mooch on the main lake, maybe bait up a couple of spots, maybe even stumble across an opportunity. You never know, do you? And then onto the river tonight. Wicked. Loving this session. You know, really, variety is the spice of life, isn't it? And I've really just been enjoying dotting around lately, and when you've got a complex to go at, it's yeah, kid in a sweet shop business. Okay, mate, we're going to get you home. You can crack on with your day. Thanks for the visit. Well, the other day when I walked around the main lake, this swim I walked into, and there was 2 or 3 little patches of bubbles, not very far out, only sort of 20, 30 yards. So I sat here for about 15 minutes hoping to see a carp show, you know, because I wasn't sure if it might be bream or tench. Not even sure if there's many bream or tench in here, but I presume so. And so I was going to go and bait up the river, but I just had this gut feeling to get in this swim, or to come and have a look in this swim. As soon as I walked in here, big old set of fizz about 80 yards out. I thought, well, I've just got to get a rod out, and so I grabbed a rod out of the car, single IB, smashed it yards past where the fish had showed, and then wound it back quickly and just dropped it gently down into that area. And I think I got away with it, because a few minutes later there was a bit of a fizz up, same sort of zone, and then a couple of minutes after that a fish rolled exactly on the spot, and then there was another fizzer just to the left of it. So normally I'd be chucking another rod out, but I think seeing as I've got one out there and got away with it, I think I should just stick with that one and sit here quietly and hope that we can get a quick opportunity. That would be amazing. That would be such a buzz. I mean, I'm buzzing just now just seeing those fish. So we're on them. Come on. Well, to be honest, I think I majorly fluffed up a prime opportunity on the main lake today, which could have been gold to catch one out of there after a couple of hours. But yeah, I put a second rod out, and after that they'd done the off. I considered doing a night there, because I thought, yeah, there's a chance of a bite here, but I was just itching for a night on the river. So yeah, come round to here after giving it the afternoon round there. I also baited a spot out there, had a little lead around, found a really lovely area actually, right close to where they were showing, and baited that up. Not with a lot of bait, about 1.5 kilos of the mix I've been using, you know, corn, pellets, hemp, and yeah, a few boilies as well, and a few tigers. So that's primed up, hopefully, in case they return tomorrow morning, because I might have one last chance saloon round there before I go. But for now, I've come around to the river, and there was a guy fishing just opposite where I baited up. So I thought, well, I'll leave him to it for now. And there was some fish on the top on clover, so I thought, wow, a few floaters on their head to see what their reaction is. Straight on them. So I fed them for about 25 minutes, and then set up a little free line hook bait, put a little bag of pellets on there, just give myself a little bit of weight, and caught one within about 10 seconds. Got a lovely one in the net. I've not even had a good look at it yet actually, it just looked really dark as I was playing it. So yeah, let's get him out and have a look. Top result. Wow, this really is incredible carp. Jet black, mega scales, the mouth is immaculate. Whoa, look at that. Do not adjust your sets, it really is as black as it looks. Blackjack, mega. Right, I'm going to get it back, get me gear sorted out and get my rods out on the river. Quite excited, to be honest with you. Last week was only my second ever river session. So yeah, it'd be nice to catch one out of here, but I think I'd be very lucky too, because it doesn't sound like there's many left in there. But we'll give it a go, won't we? God Morgan, as they say in Sweden. Well, after having that one off the surface yesterday, I got my rods out on the river. Within about 10 minutes, I had a chub with about a pound. And then half hour later, I had a bream. I was thinking, oh no, is it going to be a night of this? Is it? And I was so tired, I'd only had 4 hours sleep. So I tied up some stiff rigs with a 20mm bottom bait and a 16mm wafter, with a long hair in between the hook and the bait as well, and flicked them out and got my head down. Woke up at 4 to a bite. I was like, yes. Rod tip bent right round, wound it in, chub of about £5. I can't believe it hooked himself on that stupidly crude setup. I mean, it was that crude, I was thinking, am I even going to catch a carp on this if it comes over it? But anyway, as soon as I'd had that chub, I thought, no, I'm not feeling this, I'm packing up. So I packed up there and then got round to the main lake for 5 o'clock and put 2 rods out on that spot that I baited up yesterday, just in the hope that they return again this morning. The margin spot to my left here, that bait is still there, so they haven't been in there overnight. Yeah, last chance saloon. To be honest with you, totally different weather to yesterday, so it's probably unlikely they will turn up, but you never know. Got to be in it to win it and all that. Give it another few hours. I think I'm probably going to have a couple of hours sleep. I've got my bed out, so yeah, a little power nap before I drive home later on. But I mean, I'm in no super rush to get home, and it's going to be a lovely day, so I've got a feeling that river might be more of a stalking type approach, you know, seeing them, fishing for them there and then, rather than just setting your stall out and going through tons of bream and chub. Anyway, it's a gorgeous morning, beautiful clear sky, there's mist rolling across the lake, the sun's coming up over the back there. All is well in the world, but a carp out of this lake would be a cherry on the top, that's for sure. Icing on the cake, cherry on the top, you know the score. Well, I've been sitting here for the last 2.5 hours and it's been completely dead. No shows, no bubblers, nothing. And I was starting to think maybe, you know, because the weather's different, or maybe because I spooked them out yesterday, they're not going to come back. But in the last 5 minutes, I've actually had 2 little knocks and a little bit of fizzing came up, bang on the money. A lovely area out there. It's kind of like weedy and choddy around it, and then just a super clean, cracked down. Oh, it's just like screams a bite, really. And obviously, because I see them feeding out there yesterday in that area on naturals, I presume. You know, it's in a good zone, so I reckon we could have a chance of a bite this morning. Quite excited. Come on, the old big lake carp. That'd be such a result to get one out of here early on. I think the river's going to be a tricky one, but this could be double tricky as well. So if we could get one now, I'll be absolutely laughing. Oh, it's a gorgeous morning. Love it. Well, I gave it till about midday on the main lake, but they just didn't show up again. So thought, well, it's a lovely sunny day. Let's get back over Clover and see if I can have another one off the top. And it took about an hour today. A little bit trickier to get going. But we got him going in the end, and we caught this one, which is not very happy. I got him in really quickly, so now he's doing his scrapping on the bank. There we go. Whoa. Nice long one, probably just under £20, I reckon. A funny little tail, isn't he? But yeah, cool mirror. Been using like a side hook boilie, trimmed down cork dust boilie, so it's got a little bit more weight in it than a normal boilie. Sort of free lining. And yeah, size 6 wide gape, and just nailing them every time. When I was out with Alan a few weeks back, I was messing around with hair rig on the surface and missing out on lots of bites, but Alan was right, the old side hook definitely is the edge. Right, as you can see, this fella's double lively and wants to get home. So, we're gonna get her back. So, nothing last night. Woke up this morning, set my alarm for 4:15, got up, sat there for 3 hours, watching, I think about 7 o'clock. I did have 2 little liners actually, one on either of the 2 rods out in open water, but I just didn't see any signs of anything out there. So yeah, I had a little power nap and then got up, gave it till about midday with my rods out, just in case, but I just wasn't getting the feelings. But I spoke to a few people and they've said, oh, they don't really show much on here. But I don't know, you know, you get a feeling when they're in the zone, don't you? So, and I didn't have that feeling. So I thought, right, let's go for a good old look about. Had a good mooch around the back bank. Spoke to a couple of other anglers who've been around there for the last couple of days, haven't seen anything. And then the last swim that I hadn't really had a good look in was the near end of the lake as you come in. And I hadn't actually been up here before, just purely because there was always someone in it. And I'm not one of these people who likes walking into people's swims. You know, all right, mate, how's it going? What you had? When you're leaving? How many wraps you're fishing? But yeah, it's a lovely swim, really nice. Got a couple of bays either side of this little point that I'm on. Massive weed bed out there, with a big opening in the middle of it. And most importantly, a tree that you can climb and get a good view in. And it was that tree that I sat up for about half an hour earlier and saw 3 fish milling about, separate ones, and the viewing conditions weren't that great either, so if there was 3 that I could see, bound to be more. I mean, that big old weed bed out there, that's just screams carp. It's probably the biggest one in the lake, so it's a good chance that, you know, that's why they're down here. So I've set 2 up out from this swim, 1 on a washing line over to the back bank. Lovely firm spot. There's all sort of silt and a bit of weed around it, but yeah, crack, like lovely jubbly. Solid bag on that and a little bit of mix. This one, again, I struggled to find a spot out here. There's a lot of weed around this area, but out there's a beautiful little spot, probably about 3 foot by 3 foot, proper like crack, lovely, jubbly. So yeah, I'm well happy with that one. And the third one at the moment, just literally just flicked it out there about 20 minutes ago because I saw a fish roll. So yeah, considering they don't show in here, I've seen 3 shows today, actual shows, and a few last week, and I've not had to spend that much time looking. Anyway, we'll see if that's paid off for me today. Fingers crossed. Come on, the carp. Well, I woke up at about 3:30 this morning, had a proper buzz on, so I was like, right, I'm getting up, let's sit up, see if anything's showing. And I sat up all morning. Did I see one? Yeah, one showed in the weed at one point, and there was a little bubbler on the rod in the channel, and I had a little liner, and I thought, oi. Then that quietened off. I thought, oh, maybe the line lay's bad, and the fish is spooked off of it. And anyway, I sat here just praying for a bite, really. And then the rod that was clipped up on the far margin, massive drop back, run straight to it, wound down, connected with a fish, big old, powerful old lunges, and it just got round this weed bed. and sort of got itself in there. And anyway, it was solid, so I kind of put the rod down, and then it was pulling off the clutch. I picked it up again, it's still solid, put it down. 5 minutes later, it pulled off again. It was solid again, put it down. And anyway, I messaged Luke about the boat, and he said, I kind of need a bailiff down there, really. Anyway, so I gave it another little go, and then bang, the line cut. Sickening. I mean, sometimes when you get a lot of weeds, you get a lot of little mussels and stuff in there, and it's all bunched up. Obviously, yeah, that can happen sometimes, but I'm absolutely sick. It really did feel like a good fish, and I'm sitting here, you know, really kind of expecting to get a bite, and when that happens, it's just, oh. I've lost a few fish lately, and last year I hardly lost any, so such a crap feeling. Pretty gutted, but hopefully there'll be another chance, because the weather's bang on, and like I say, it's obviously a good area. Anyway, I'm going to get off of here because I sound a bit miserable, don't I? Bollocks. Well, it's been another quiet night, and indeed another quiet morning. Still licking my wounds from yesterday, if I'm honest. Definitely a good fish, that one. It's never nice losing them, but sometimes you just know when you've lost something a little bit special. Oh, anyway, it's been another early start, and a very quiet one as well, to be honest. It's not much wind, it's pretty much zero activity. Seen one little show, wasn't even sure if it was a carp. Very little in the form of bubblers. So yeah, it doesn't seem like there's a lot going on. I've got to pull off today. Oh, bird flew into my line. Yeah, I've got to pull off today, but I'm going to give it most of the day. I think that bite yesterday was at 10 a.m, so definitely got to be a chance, hasn't there? It'd be a right result to catch one on this session, because as I say, you know, I'm trying to catch one out of all the lakes and the river, and so far managed 3 of the lakes in 2 sessions. Obviously this is my 3rd session now, so if I could catch one out of here today, that would get all the lakes out of the way. And then I've just got the river, which I think is going to be a hard task, but I've got a bit of bait to stick in before I go. So yeah, but yeah, let's worry about getting one out of the lake first, eh? Apart from all of that, the stresses of fishing, it's a stunning place to be. It's so peaceful and tranquil down here, and the birds are just constantly at it. So yeah, lovely place to be. I'll tell you what though, Nick Elliott once said, hardcore carp fishing ravages you, and he's right. State of me. Skin's bad, not enough sleep, not enough water, not eating well. It's not the most healthy of lifestyles, to be honest with you. I need to sort my life out a little bit and yeah, look after myself a bit more. Adam Penning's always saying to me, "Oi, Joe, moisturiser." I think I might need to take his advice. Oh, lovely cup of coffee. Come on, universe, what you got for us? Let's have a bite, please. Pathetic. Right, so yesterday, after losing that one, I spent about an hour without the rod in the water, thinking, I don't know if I want to put it back out there, you know, is it worth it? I'm going to lose them. And then I was looking at the weed bed and I thought, do you know what, it doesn't look like it's grown up off the bottom, it just looks like it's drifted in and sort of joined forces with other bits that have drifted in. So got the old sea lead out and spent about an hour picking chunks out of it, to the point that there was hardly any coming in at the end, even though there was still quite a lot sitting on the surface, so you know that there's not much there. So yeah, got the rod back out there, and then this morning been sitting there, haven't seen any activity, and was just thinking, come on please, let's have one before we get out of it. I really, really want one. Yeah, it costs a lot of money to come up to these sort of places. It's a long drive, and you know, fishing's not cheap, is it? So when you come up and you're trying to get a result for the camera and you don't have anything, it's it gets you down, but it's a little bit frustrating. So anyway, yeah, I was begging the universe for a bite. Lo and behold, the old washing line rod, big old drop back, straight on it. A few kicks in the weed, but like it just came through that broken weed, no problems. And then I got it into the edge down here. And there's a bit of weed around here from where I pulled in yesterday, and basically it shot under that and into these reeds and then up the margins, and the line's going right under a raft of weed through the reeds, you know. I was like, oh no, I'm never going to land this. So anyway, I managed to kind of get the line after the raft and hand lining this fish down the margins. It's trying to get under this bush, and I'm just thinking this is never going to go in the net. Anyway, got it sort of a bit closer, still a bit of weed and reeds to deal with, and then I couldn't get the net in. So anyway, the fish is powering off that way, and I'm obviously trying to pull it back with my hands, so I've just got the net and stuck it the other side of it and let the fish power into the net, and we got it in. So yeah, buzzed up to the max. He's not a big one, he's like probably about 17, 18 pound, but a lovely carp and a massive result. It's only, what's it now, about 8:30 in the morning, the rod's back out. If I don't catch another one, I don't really care, but I'm going to give it most of the day anyway. So anyway, let's get him out and have a look at him. Well, first Ecton Big Lake carp. Look at that, absolute peach of a fish. One of the stockies, obviously. It's probably getting on for £20, but like I say, weight was not important. Just a massive result to get my first one out of here, as it always is on any new lake. But this one can be particularly tricky at times, I believe. So yeah, right result, get one on my third night. Excellent. Right, we're going to get a couple of snaps of you, mate, and we'll get you back so you can enjoy the rest of your day. No doubt sitting in the weed, chilling. Jam on. Look at that lovely creature. Back you go, mate. Well, I was going to do the sensible thing and go home because I've got a little bit of filming to do tomorrow, and I thought, yeah, I need a bath and a good night's sleep before that. But, wow, so close to completing the challenge. Yeah, I've got to stay on here for the night, haven't I? So I've moved on to the river, same spot that I fished last week. Baited up a couple of days ago as well. But tonight I was fishing over about 15 boilies and then 3 hook baits that are out there. The idea being, you know, if I put a lot of bait in, that's going to attract the chub and the bream, and they're going to be having a party, you know, whereas hopefully where I've already put the bait in, fish have been visiting the area, and you know, it's only going to take a single hook bait, and obviously that hopefully will get a bite quicker as well. So the good news is I spoke to that guy who'd seen a mid-double, and he caught an 11-pound mirror from here recently, a week ago in fact, on double maggot. Now obviously I've gone a little bit cruder than a double maggot because I don't want to be up all night catching bream and chub, so I've got sort of double 18mm hook baits on. So we'll see how we go with that. Fingers crossed, Jammy Joe can pull this out of the bag. I've got nice tight clutches on, so if there's line coming off that clutch, we know it's a carp. Come on, the old Nene common. Common? What about a mirror? Anything, carp. Knackered. I only had a couple of chub, but they were just grabbing the hook bait all night long. I'd say every 20 minutes I was getting So yeah, I didn't get very good sleep at all, and I wish I would have gone home and had a bath, but there you go, never try, never know. I think this is going to be a tricky one, this river. I'm going to bait the swim again before I leave, but I've got a feeling that it's going to be more about stalking. I think I'm just going to have to keep wandering up and down the river, trying to find them. Maybe floaters would be a good one on a hot day. But as I say, I'm going to put some more bait in before I leave anyway, and hopefully, they'll be visiting this area looking for it eventually. But for now, I've got to shoot off. I've got to stop at a garage, freshen myself up, and then got a little bit of filming to do down in Hertfordshire. So got an hour and a half drive plus the track, so about 2 hours. It's a long old track here. Well worth it though. Right, let's get these rods in, get on the road. I feel like I failed here, but at least I caught one from the other lake, eh? Well, it's Monday. I left Ecton on Wednesday and I've just returned back on this river mission. To be honest with you, I think this is probably going to be the last night I do in this swim. Then after that I'll probably just try and stalk them on hot days, because at the moment I've not actually seen any yet. The only evidence I have of carp in this stretch is that the float angler guy who I spoke to, who's seen one and caught one. So I know they do get around this area, and because there's a few features here, i.e. this other little river joining this one, there's lots of weed pads, got some slow moving water, some faster moving water, then I'm sure it's an area that they will come by fairly often. And obviously I've put a little bit of bait in here over the last few weeks now, so with any luck some have actually been visiting and getting a taste of that before the old chub get in there first. Yeah, probably tactics wise tonight I'm just going to stick a couple of kilos of boilies out, 2 where I've normally been putting them, and 1 just down in the margin here behind me, as there's a little hole in amongst some weed, and it looks like the water there's really slow moving. So yeah, I've been tricking a bit of bait into that spot. Got to be worth a go as well, isn't it? Let's get these rods out because I think it's going to rain. Blooming heck. I was just getting some shots of the river, and about 60, not even that to be honest with you, 50 yards away from my bivvy, massive grape. That was no mid-double, no way. That was a good carp. Bloody hell. Well, that's a bit of a buzz, isn't it? That bit where it showed, that's the end of that little bit of river there where it joins the main river. That section's quite fast flowing. There's a lot of like cabbages and that through there. It's clear water as well, so yeah. Anyway, what I'm thinking is that he's probably just in there that time of the evening having a little workout down the gym up in the fast flow. Once he's done there, he's only got to drift 40-50 yards downstream to where I've been baiting. Surely he's been having a bit of that. Food there, high protein, gym there. Tell you what, I've got a buzz on for tonight. I think there's a good chance we're going to catch one. Come on, the old river Nene carp. Excited. Well, unfortunately, last night was a bit of a washout on the river. Absolutely peed it down, raining cats and dogs. Yeah, what did I have? I had a few small chub, and then about 3 o'clock in the morning I had a slow bite, picked up into it, and it just was like going off downriver really slowly and really. I thought I'd hooked a boat, to be honest with you. I couldn't see a boat down there. Anyway, like I gave it so much stick, and in the end it did actually eventually start coming back, and I got this ridiculously big ball of weed back. It was just like a blob of horribleness, and it ended up like I couldn't even get my rig out of it. I ended up having to pull for a break, and then that big blob, which is about the size of a car, just ended up drifting around in front of a swim where there was a little funny bit of turbulence, you know. It's just circuit. Oh, fishes just showed. Yeah, circulating. Anyway, so this morning I packed up straight away, moved onto the main lake on the end of the wind, and I found some fish down there. I baited up a couple of spots the day before, yesterday should I say, and there was a bit of activity on those spots, so dropped in there for a good few hours, no bites, but afterwards spent a little bit of time clearing the spots out a bit, raked them out just a little bit just to make sure that they were clear, because there was a bit of low-lying weed about, and then baited them again. And then I come over to Jigsaw, and I've just literally put one out because this is the little hole where I caught from before, and as soon as I walked into it I saw a fish, so I thought, right, that's good enough for me. Dropped a little bag in, and yeah, as I say, one's just rolled or boshed out not far out since I've been sitting here talking to the camera, so fingers crossed there's a good chance of a bite. Ooh, buzz is on even. Yes. Oh, lovely dark common. Not a massive one, but what a buzz. Can't beat this close quarters. Jungle warfare style of fishing. It's nothing gets the adrenaline going more. Right, let's have a little look at the prize then. Result. Look at that. Lovely, lovely character. Didn't take too long either. I reckon that was out there about half an hour. So, plan now? Well, the weather's mega, so there's going to be other opportunities to find, I imagine. I think I'm going to pop up to Glee and have a little look round, see what's happening up there. But failing that, I've still got those other spots on the main lake, which well worth a check now, I reckon, because the wind's banging down there. So, yeah. Result! Happy days! Thank you, Mr. Carp. We're going to get you home now. Go on, son. Well, gave it an hour or so looking around Glebe. I was up a very precarious ladder for quite a while looking, but no signs to go on whatsoever. Which, to be honest with you, that was surprising, because you know, them sort of small lakes, they really react to a bit of wind sometimes, and the wind was banging down the first end you come to. But yeah, with nothing to go on there, I went and checked my spots on the main lake that I baited up this morning, and again, no signs of activity there. So I've dropped onto the spot that I caught from last week on the main lake. However, rather than fishing across washing line style, I'm actually on the far bank now, just fishing with one rod in the edge. And like, basically I can't fish it washing line style anymore because of how much weed's drifted in here now. So I thought, well, I'm fine around here. Most of that swim's closed up now. If anyone does turn up and want to go in there, I'll let them know I'm here. But yeah, this spot done 2 bites for me last week, 2 mornings on the trot, and I think it was 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock. So quite hopeful of a bite tomorrow morning, but you never really know, you know, like it could go any time. It's in that kind of zone, feels like a good area, and I did bait it up yesterday when I got here as well, so it's been primed. Stopped and had a quick look in here this morning. There was a couple of little bubblers, but not a huge amount. So yeah, they probably had a free breakfast this morning. Hopefully they're going to be back for another one tomorrow. I'm really, you know, kind of hoping for one of these better fish out of here now. I've had quite a few of the smaller fish on the complex, and so yeah, I feel like I'm due a bigger one. And there are some real special ones in here. There's a massive linear in here that's, well, probably about £50 at the right time of year nowadays, but it's not been out for 2 years, I believe. Mega carp. And like I said before, you know, quite a few other 40s in here as well. So fingers crossed, one of them, even 30 would be absolutely amazing. Some mega ones in here, like lovely commons and that. So yeah, plenty to go at. Come on the carp, let's be having ya. Just sitting back and being quiet here. Got to get my billy up in a little bit. But yeah, it's quite a cool little spot, to be honest. I like it. Well, I did say I thought it was going to be a tricky day's fishing, and I was right. I was all over the show today. Just baiting spots on the main lake, on Jigsaw, on the river. Struggling to find any fish though. In the end, I settled for a couple of spots that I baited up last week. Raked them out and baited them every day for 3 or 4 days. And yeah, I've had a result. Look at that. Lovely dark one. It's just getting dark, so the light's not the best, but it's a pristine condition, and I'm well happy with that. It just goes to show, you know, put that bit of effort in and it makes all the difference. Happy days. Well, I won't lie to you, it has been a tough week's fishing. Last time I saw you, what have I done since then? Done another 2 nights on the main lake. For niche. Fished the car park end purely because there's quite a lot of fish sitting in that weed all the time, and that was the closest I could get to as many fish as I could find really. But that spot had been baiting up the far end. I think that's where I should have been, because by all accounts there was a few fish up there last night, so made the wrong choice. So yeah, anyway, I was just about to leave and I thought, well, I'll bait up that spot on the river again before I do. I've been all over the show these last few days. I've been up and down the river, around the lakes, and I've covered a fair few miles, I imagine. But anyway, so I thought I'd put some bait in that spot before I leave. So I've done that, and then I thought, oh, do you know what? Before I go, I'll have a little bit, look a little bit further along this stretch of river, which is the faster running, clearer bit with loads of like pads and stuff in it, cabbages and all that. So I'm sort of dipping in and out of spots, and in the end, I thought to myself, do you know what? I need to like just stop and wait here for a while. So I found an area that looks quite tasty. I'd seen 2 or 3 big chub and a couple of bream go past. So I thought, right, let's just stand here. I stood there for 15 minutes. Thought he's got a good chance, you know, if there's one about, you're going to see it. And then, like, literally 15, 20 minutes later, bang, mirror come through, probably about 14 pounds, really dark one. And that was it. I was off, sending up dust as I shot back to the car, and now I'm here, got my kit. So let's get this rod out. I'm just going to put one single out there. Seems like a sort of zone they're going to be coming through, so hopefully that one single look might grab their attention. And yeah, we'll catch him, but it's got to be worth a couple of hours, isn't it? Oh, excited now. Thought I was going to leave on a low, but hopefully we can pull this one off. Come on, the river carp. Double exciting as I was going to drop that rig in. There's another fish came through, probably up a double. Pretty sure it was a common, but it was so jet black it was hard to see. Had a little bit of a tatty tail. Proper exciting this is. I just put like about 6 half baits out there just to get a bit more traction in the water, and hopefully if I pick one up either side and then pick the hook bait up. But yeah, looks good. Oh my lordy, Well, I was just setting the camera up because I'd seen a fish come about 2 inches from the bait and swim away, and I was like, oh, maybe a yellow pop-up ain't the one, maybe I need to put a bottom bait out, and I was just about to do a little bit of talking about that. Rod's ripped off. Epic's grab. Oh, you know. Oh, that was close. It nearly got away. Shit. That would have been devastation to the nation. Epic battle. See, it was this nice dark common, the one that I was talking about, with a sort of like a little bit of a tatty tail. And I was please go in the net, and he's torn off downriver. Absolute animal. I don't even know what was round the corner. I just kept the tip down, pumping it back, got him up, got the net downstream of him. He's in. We've got our Nene carp, and we've completed the challenge. 4 sessions. I am absolutely buzzing my tits off. Don't even care that I look in an absolute state. Stick of the dump. Who cares? Right. Let's get myself sorted out. Buzz. Cool. Yeah, he's a little bit bigger than I thought, actually. I reckon he's probably getting on for 18 pounds. It's definitely the one I was watching. It's well hooked as well. Got some length to him. Angry boy, ain't ya? Let's get that hook out of you. Oh, come on. That's it. Get that out of the way. Let's just show you off quickly, and we'll get you back. Oh, yeah, he's trying to give me a slap. Look at that. That carp has made me one very happy man. Biggest river carp I've ever caught. My scales are in the car, but I'm giving him 18 pounds. It's got some length to him. It's got a funny little stubby dorsal, and then as you can see, his tail has definitely been in a fight with an otter, ain't you, mate? But you got away, didn't you? You're a survivor, a true Nene River survivor. Absolutely over the moon. And that completes the challenge. When Luke invited me up here, he said that the challenge was to catch one from each of the lakes and one from the river. And it had never been done in the season. So I thought, I like a challenge. I'll give that a go. Oh! And that's it. 4 sessions, 15 nights, job done. Wicked. Right, I'm going to attempt to get a couple of snaps of this old boy, and then we'll get him back, and then I'm going to get on my way back to Colchester for a nice bath, because I stink. Happy blooming days. Actually, I know he's a common, but let's have a look at his other side anyway. Tell you what, I reckon he's very close to 20 pounds. Ain't you, mate? Awesome, awesome creature. As I said, I come on a little single yellow pop-up. Oh, and I just put a few little baits out there as well. And he was obviously feeding on them because I'd seen a bit of bubbles coming up beforehand. Right, let's get you back, old chap.